Hey guys, this is John from US Dash Camera. Today I got a review on the new Viofo A139. So as you can see here, it is a 3-channel dash camera. So we're going to have the front camera, an internal infrared camera for recording inside of your car, and then a rear camera to look out the back of your car. Now I'm pretty excited about this camera. I think it's one of the biggest improvements, if not the biggest improvement, Viofo has ever made on their dash camera lineup. And Viofo did reach out to me to send this unit out for review, so I'd like to thank them for sending out a review unit. And as usual, I will provide affiliate links down in the description to where you can purchase this camera. If you purchase through Black Box My Car, you do get 5% off through my links, so check that out down below. So looking at some of the main specs, it is Quad HD. That means you're getting 2K on the front camera, 1080p on the front and rear. It does have 2.4 and 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi, because this camera doesn't actually have a screen. You can see here, unlike the A119 and A129 cameras. So there it mentions the infrared interior camera again. You can actually buy it without all 3 channels, but I don't think that would be recommended. If you don't want all 3 channels, you're probably going to get better video quality out of something like the A129 Plus Duo or Pro Duo. Here on the side you can see it does use Sony image sensors on all 3 cameras to ensure excellent image quality with low motion blur. Supports up to 256GB micro SD cards, which is really great because with 3 channels you're going to want as much space as you can get. It does come with a GPS logger similar to the A119 and A129. We'll take a look at how that hooks up. It does come with a polarized CPL filter, and it does have an optional Bluetooth remote or external microphone. Now the Bluetooth remote and the microphone I didn't test, but I have used the Bluetooth remote on previous models where it's just a wireless button that lets you lock the current file, so you don't have to reach up to the camera if you want to do that. So let's take a look at the actual camera now. I'm a huge fan of this design. It reminds me of some high-end Korean dash cameras like from Thinkware and iRoad. I personally prefer no screen. I know some people aren't going to like that, but with the app I think it works just fine. The app lets you change all of the settings such as resolution, the parking mode, any of the sensor settings. So you're going to use that app to set those settings, and then you don't really need to go into the app unless you want to save any of your video files. And that way you can just transfer the video files directly to your phone, and you don't have to mess with the memory card that way if you don't want, unlike the A119, which still doesn't have Wi-Fi. Here on the top you can see several LED lights for record, mic, GPS, and Wi-Fi. We got a power button, a record button. This is an emergency lock button, so if you don't have the wireless Bluetooth remote, you're going to have to reach up and hit that if you want to manually lock the current file. We got the mute button and the Wi-Fi button. So I really like that all of these are on here, even though you're still going to have to use the wireless app. On the side here you can see there is a memory card slot for the micro SD card. I was confused about what that was at first, and that's actually to mount a little security feature to prevent people from pulling the cables out. Of course, if someone tries hard enough, they're going to be able to rip or break the cables, but I like that they included this feature. That's something that Blackview also has as an option, so it's cool to see Viofo stepping it up with more advanced features like that. Up top, one new upgrade that I really love is the power cable does actually use USB-C. So included in the package is going to be just a standard 12-volt power cable with the USB-C on one end. So there is an optional hardwiring kit for the parking mode. We'll talk about that a little bit later. You can see here now interior and rear. So if you notice, those are really small plugs because the new cables that they use are very thin. This is very reminiscent of Blackview's cables. These are, instead of micro USB like the A129, this uses a super thin coax cable, and I really love this. This is probably my favorite improvement of this camera, because one of my major complaints about the A129 is how just absurdly thick those micro USB cables were for the rear camera. So this hole is also part of the security locker that it'll bolt onto there and screw into there also. That way that's what protects the cables from being ripped out. We got the external mic hole right there and the audio video out right there. Here on the side we just have a reset button, and that's where the microphone is. Up top we have the GPS mount. Now I already use this, so there would normally be an adhesive on here, and it does come with extras, but I removed this since testing, so that's why there's nothing on there. You can see here it uses pins similar to the A119 and A129, so this is the GPS module. You will notice though that the power does not plug into this at all. The only option is to plug into there, and I don't really mind so much because they put it on top instead of the side like some of their previous models, and I'm perfectly fine with plugging into there instead of here. I think it would be cool if they included a non-GPS mount to make it more flush to the glass if you didn't care about GPS. I'd like to see that, definitely. And then on the front you can see the lens, which rotates, of course. This is very similar to several thinkware models. And then here with the CPL filter, that just attaches right onto there, and you'll see right there you can line that line up. That is important. If it's 90 degrees the wrong way, it will not filter. If you aren't aware what these are for, the basic idea is they reduce glare. So in certain cases you might get a lot of glare in your windshield, and that makes seeing things such as license plates a little bit harder. So by reducing that glare, it does provide a better picture. So now with the two external cameras, we got the standard rear camera. This is going to go on your rear windshield, or in my case the rear quarter window on my trunk lid. And then here is the infrared camera. So you can see the little infrared lights. This is what's going to allow you to record inside of your car even when it's dark outside or dark in your car. So cameras like this are very popular with rideshare, Uber, Lyft drivers, because it gives them some extra security to be able to record what's going on in their car while they're giving a passenger a ride. It is worth noting that when I first set mine up, the default was to not use the infrared for some reason. So I did go into the app and set it to auto. This will automatically turn the infrared filter on when it senses that it's dark. So during the day it'll be color, and the picture quality will still look like regular great high def video in color, but then when it's completely pitch black it'll turn the filter on and you'll be able to see in complete darkness. Now one thing I will say is, because it is an external camera, there's some pros and cons to that. The con, I would say, is you have this extra cable. That means you have to install this somewhere on your windshield, and then you got to figure out how to hide this cable. But the benefit of this is you can put your main camera tucked away, hidden behind your rear view mirror, and then you can have this maybe up top towards the roof of your car or the roof liner, and that way you don't have to have the whole camera visible. If you are interested in a camera that is similar to this, 3 channels with infrared on the internal or rear interior camera, I did review the Zenfox 3-channel model, which has the internal or interior camera built into the main camera, but you are more limited on where you can place them because the camera needs to be, or the front camera needs to be somewhere centered, but also have visibility for the interior camera. For the rear camera, you are going to get this very long coax cable, and in regards to the video quality, you're going to get pretty excellent video quality. Now you do have to consider the fact that this is recording 3 high-def video feeds at the same time, one of those being 2K or Quad HD, so you're not going to get as good a video quality probably as comparable A129 models. The A129 also does offer a 4K model, where this one just has the 2K in the front and 1080p for the external cameras. If you're not looking for 3 channels and you just want a front and rear and you don't care about recording inside of your car, you're probably better off getting the A129 anyways. The A119 V3 is also an excellent option still to this day if you just want to record the front of your car. And the rear, of course, looks pretty excellent too. It's just 1080p, but it's definitely going to be enough for what most people are expecting and what they need. With the Sony image sensors, of course, you are going to get pretty decent night quality. Viofo has been known for having excellent low light condition video quality, and I would say that this is no exception. But guys, with Viofo, you're going to get some of the best low light or night quality dash cam footage out there, so if you're not impressed with the night quality here, you're probably not going to be happy with other dash cameras' night quality either. Now, one other really awesome feature they added on this camera that they never had before is audio alerts. So for example, let's say, whoa, that went shooting out of there. 1 second. Alright, that shot about 6 feet away. Let's say you took the memory card out because you were copying a bunch of files. Next time you start it up, let's see what it says.
Please insert a memory card.
So that's really great. You know, some cameras will just beep, which, you know, is also helpful, but it's really nice when it says something so clear that it tells you exactly what's wrong. Okay, now that the memory card's back in, let's restart it up.
Recording. 1 channel started.
So it'll actually tell you how many channels are recording. So if something's wrong with your rear camera or the internal camera, it'll actually let you know that it's only recording on 1 or 2 channels. So that's a pretty nice little security feature to let you know if you need to check your cables to the other cameras. Now, the one downside of this camera, I will say, is the parking mode isn't as advanced as those high-end Korean dash cameras I often talk about in my reviews, because those are typically my favorite cameras. Now, if this had a buffered parking mode, I think this would possibly replace the ThinkWare camera that I use in my personal truck. Now, I asked the representative if there was buffered parking because the A119 V3 and the A129 cameras did get an update that gave them buffered parking mode, but I didn't see anything mentioned in the paperwork that came with this camera. So apparently this camera does just have standard parking mode, where if you use the 3-wire hardwiring kit, it will detect when your car is off, and while it's in the parking mode, if it detects motion or an impact, it will start recording the moment after it senses the impact. Now on the website it does claim that it has buffered parking mode, but the representative said it doesn't. So maybe that will come in an update. I'm not quite sure, but I actually didn't have the hardwiring kit to test the parking mode. It is a new hardwire kit because the ones that I do have are micro USB for the A129 and A119. And I asked the representative if there were any new features for the parking mode. If there was, I definitely wanted to test that for you guys, but since the representative said that it didn't have the buffered parking mode even and just had the standard parking mode, I decided, you know, I'll just let you guys know this is what's included as of posting this review. I would recommend getting the hardwiring kit regardless though, because it will save or free up your 12-volt socket in case you want to use that for charging something like your cell phone. So while it doesn't have that buffered parking mode, in addition to that motion detection and impact detection parking mode, there is a time-lapse option that lets you record at a low frame rate, and that saves storage and power. But when you play back the videos, it will look like it's in fast motion. Another option is the low bitrate recording, where it's continuous recording at a normal frame rate, but with a lower bitrate to save storage space again. So guys, overall, I really love this camera. I think this is the biggest improvement Viofo's made on their lineup of dash cameras. It gets me more and more excited to see what's coming next from them. I'm sure, like the previous models, they'll probably have yearly updates, like maybe an A139 Pro model that could have 4K in the front or other additional features. Who knows? They really surprised me with this one with the really thin coax cables and the awesome audio alerts. And you know, some people might not like having no screen, but personally, that's what I prefer. I prefer using just the Wi-Fi dash cam app on any dash camera that offers that feature. And really, if this camera just had a parking mode that was similar to ThinkWare or Blackview's, I think this would be my favorite dash camera. You know, Blackview offers, well actually Blackview and ThinkWare offer cloud features, but Blackview definitely excels at cloud features. I'm not expecting Viofo to catch up anytime soon with how advanced Blackview's cloud features are, because they've been working on that for about 5 years now. But if they could just get an automatic buffered parking mode with a timer function built in, then I think this would be up there with the best of the best dash cameras. And a lot of people don't even use the parking mode, so if you don't care about parking mode, then this probably would be the best camera out there for you. And I think just overall, guys, if you're looking at getting this camera, I'd say go for it. Of course, I'll provide links down in the description to where you can purchase this. I have Amazon affiliate links, and also if you purchase through blackboxmycar.com, you will get 5% off your order. So check those down in the description. As usual, guys, I hope this video was helpful. If it was, I'd appreciate it if you hit like and subscribe if you want to see more in-depth dash camera reviews. And as usual, drive safe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.